hajimamashite. Watashi wa Dero desu. And this is Flabonga Monthrothacube. With me today, I have Donna Letley. Is that correct?
That's it.
Hey, Donna.
Hello. I'm just laughing at the fact that I do it like I'm in a pop video, because every time my hair goes, I haven't done that for effect. It's the window. I just want to clear that up straight away.
You're not having like your share moment.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway,
it's actually quite funny because I have a fan blowing on me at the moment, but I cut my hair yesterday, so you can't see any kind of wavy hair streaminess.
Yeah, I'm having a top of the pops moment. It's fine.
Okay. Romeo Delta Sierra, RDS. What does that mean? What does it stand for?
Okay, so RDS is actually Research Discovery Solution, and the idea was that over many years of working in various sectors, mostly in the tech space, going out there and professing to have non-biased advice for people, generally you are going to find that you're going to lead people into, what your core product might be for that company you're working for, right? So always like to be a trusted advisor to any clients I was talking to, but then realised that actually I'd quite like to be genuinely giving non-biased, agnostic advice and clearing the fog for people, because something as simple as like print contracts in a business, like headache and difficult to decipher, and people don't have the time to really sit and do that, so they find themselves just relocking themselves into agreements because it's not something that they've got the time to spend clearing the mist. So that's basically it in a nutshell. It was just kind of making myself that trusted advisor for myself, with a lot of partners that I've worked with over the years as a trusted network, so that I could bring truly non-biased advice to clients when they're looking at their contracts and consolidation of equipment, and sometimes just like sounding off with a business idea, just wanting outside eyes to have some kind of input into that. So yeah, that's RDS in a nutshell.
It sounds like what you do and what I do are actually quite similar. So I'm a systems advisory manager at Creston Reeves, and again, I will advise clients on their software and app stacks that link to their finance function. So yeah, and try to be agnostic while I do so. So
yeah, exactly that.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Synergy.
Silly question.
Okay.
Where are you right now? I'm checking out your background. What's going on? Where are
right,
you?
So I'm currently in my partner's flat in Hertfordshire, really glamorously sitting on a chair in the kitchen, with the effects coming through the window. Yeah, so I'm in Hertfordshire now. So I'm based everywhere, quite frankly, but the business was born in Kent, and that's obviously my heritage. I'm part of the Medway Massive and always will be. So yeah, my mum's still over there in the business. Generally, a lot of my client base tends to be Kent and kind of South East London area.
First of all, you're right. Big up the Medway Massive.
Oh yeah, amazing.
Second of all, did you ever go to the club Amadeus?
Oh, I'm a dangerous. Of course I did.
Yes, she knows. No, it's really funny. So I was just joking with a friend who's recently moved to Medway, and I said, "Mate, it's rough." And she was like, "I didn't know." And I mentioned Amadeus, and I said we used to joke and call it as Amadangerous, because I got friends that got stabbed there many times. It was ridiculous.
Really? It was. It was a great place. I had some fun times there, I have to be honest. But but that's it. There's nothing more I can say about Amadangerous, really.
I think it was one of the only places in Kent that played R&B and garage.
Yes. Well, you had casino rooms, right, in Rochester. That's still a thing. But I remember back in the day when you used to pay, it was how they did this and why people weren't having their stomachs pumped, or some maybe were, but you paid a fixed fee on the door and you just basically drank as much as you wanted. They had buffets and all sorts of stuff going on, and that's changed massively. I think you used to pay something like 12 quid, which I think is probably just the cost of one drink now if you were to go in there. And it hasn't changed much other than the prices. The carpet's still the same. It's not changed.
I'm glad you know it. That's I haven't been there in years.
Yeah.
Okay. let's bring it back to business.
Yeah, shall we do that? Yeah.
Yes, we'll meander back again.
Yeah.
So you started up RDS to be kind of an independent advisor, specifically around tech. Is that what you said? Is that hardware or software or both?
Both. Yeah, anything and everything, really. I mean, even down to the fact of, helping clients look at fire safety and security, furniture, designing spaces, even looking at their marketing strategies, like anything that helps the business function, where I can add value. And by the way, within that, it's the suppliers that I introduce that actually reward me financially. And I'm always really transparent about that. The client doesn't actually pay for my services. So it's even better. It's great for kind of the SMB market because they haven't got to think about that cost to get that advice. And no, the partners do not load their costs to be able to pay me. It doesn't work like that, because I'll always make sure I get kind of a fair amount of quotes, normally 3 or 4 for anything. They're all fighting as much as they would in a normal situation to win the business. So for me to recommend them, it's not just about price, it's often about service delivery and stuff as well. But it's not like smoke and mirrors of, Donna's free, but she's not free, because actually we're just paying higher pricings. The due diligence shows that's not the case. So I just like to clear that up, because I do get a lot of people saying that nothing's free. It's like, no, you're right, but I'm not an overhead to these. I'm an extra salesperson for these businesses, helping them to win new clients, and they're not having to pay me a salary, so they're still saving whatever they do. So it works for everyone.
And if you work on, I mean, technically you work on commission only, and that just basically means you work harder to get it done, right? Because someone who's on salary could just kind of dial it in, but you have to get the deal done.
Absolutely, and
within the client's parameters, otherwise you don't get paid. Yeah,
and also it has to be the right solution, because before, when I worked for other people, if any of my ex-employers are listening to this, of course I was always very brand aware, but this is now me. This is like, it's not, it's so important that everything I'm saying at the offset is actually delivered and followed through, so that I can build that client base. And it is all around trust, word of mouth, so I have to get it right. It's even more important for me to really deliver the right solution and see that process through for the client as well.
Cool. Am I correct in thinking that RDS is going to be 3 years old this year? Is that right?
It is, yeah.
Trading before 3 years? Okay.
3 years.
Congratulations. In June, right?
Yeah. I got it through that strange time that we don't like to talk about. And the business was born in that strange time that we don't like to talk about. Well, I don't like to talk about. And and actually what I felt was really good about that is it gave me a chance to sit back and actually come up with a bit of a plan and actually think about what my goals were and what I wanted. Whereas I think if I'd have done that, not in that strange time we're talking about, I probably would have just jumped straight in, because I know what I'm like. I'd have gone, I've got a brand, I kind of know what I'm doing, let's go. And I wouldn't have sat back and done all that other stuff. So, it gave me a bit of time to get it right before I kind of got into dealing with my first sort of clients and stuff.
That's cool. I need to give a shout out to someone in the comments. Raquel Flores. Good morning from Texas, USA. Raquel, she's like you, by the way, Donna. She's a boss lady. You guys should connect and just have a chat. Honestly, just have like a hour-long chat, just talk. She's also like someone who's big on the network.
Yeah, nice to meet you. And I'll definitely take note of that. Always up for a chat.
You should. I might even do the intro myself, so I can take credit for the whole awesomeness happening.
Whatever.
I'm happy watching your show at a decent time this morning, Dale. You're welcome. Usually I do these at like 12 o'clock, which is I think like 6 a.m. Raquel's time. So doing it a little bit later.
Great.
Sorry, I got distracted. Okay, silly question. If you were a biscuit, what kind of biscuit would you be that accurately portrays your personality, and why? But don't just pick your favourite biscuit.
Oh, goodness, I don't know. What would I be? I think I'd be... I don't know why I would be that. I feel like I'd be a custard cream, and I don't really know why that is. I think it's because I'm I'm sweet. I'm cute. I'm not going to say I'm tasty. That's weird. But no, I don't know why that came into my head though. But that's where I'm going. I'm going for a custard cream.
That's a very Cilla Black blind date-esque kind of answer. Like I felt like you were flirting with me. Which I appreciate, by the way. It was lovely. It was lovely. All right. Of all the big corporates that you work for, do you have a favourite, like a particular role, or just in terms of atmosphere and culture that you really enjoyed?
Well, I mean, I'm quite a social person, as people that have met and worked with me will know. I really enjoyed the days when I was working up in London and stuff, because there was that real amazing, like, social connection with so many people. And I think not just the company I'm working for, or was working for at the time, and I worked for a number, generally in the kind of managed print arena, which is quite a, shall we call it, an incestual sector. It is. Everybody knows everybody, and it's all kind of, you've all worked at similar roles in different places, but everyone used to connect, share best practices, chat, talk about their day. It wasn't about being competitive, or in a healthy way, of course we always were, but it was just really, really nice. And I think I missed that a bit. Well, I did very much so when I first kind of went out on my own. And then obviously things changed where I was like, oh, it's okay, set your own business up. You'll be able to go to loads of networking events. And then suddenly I wasn't even allowed to go to Tesco. So that put paid to that. But on the flip side of that, I think what I'm seeing now is fab, is that I'm seeing lots of that slowly coming back. I think as the summer months approach, it does definitely come back more. There's less of a need to work from home when you can go and have a beer on the South Bank in London, quite frankly.
I have no idea what you're talking about. No idea. My boss is probably watching this, so we might watch this, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, I totally, and I'm not talking about myself. I'm referring to friends, people I know, obviously.
You're a consumer professional who's always working 12-hour days and naming it every single hour. Yeah.
And I don't drink, obviously, much. So, yeah. But I think, going back to your original question about who I work for, I think I've always been quite consistent in the companies that have chosen me and that I've chosen to work with, and that's been the same as I've replicated that in my own, with my own stuff and my own business and stuff. But I've always really liked working, like I say, with social companies, people that really realise that R&R is important, and they value their staff and they value their clients, and they, their ethos is where it should be and is the right message. All that kind of stuff sounds a bit corny, but it's true. And I think particularly in some industries, I think in some industries that's a tough, can be a bit of a tough one. I mean, probably in all, in some way, shape or form, right? But so my favourite days definitely were back when, there was lots of that social connection going on, and work was, going to the office was actually kind of fun. You looked forward to it. So, yeah.
Raquel's back on the comments. Raquel Flores, let's do a coffee chat, Donna. There you go. It's going to happen.
Totally up for it. Magic. And Dow, you can take all the credit.
I'll take like 2% of the credit. 2%. Okay. We would have met each other at some point. Okay, so at the moment, is RDS still just you, or do you have a team that now work with you?
So I have a partner network where now some projects have obviously happened in the last kind of 3 years. So they work with me. I'm kind of an extension of their team. It's quite nice, so I can like go to their offices and hop in and out, and support them in any way I can with some of their team stuff too. But what's been really great is that one of the clients I actually worked for through RDS is actually the director and founder of a company called the Soul Camp. And anyone that's ever on my LinkedIn will see I share a lot of the messages that the Soul Camp are kind of getting across. So it started off with me literally being there to support from an admin perspective, just kind of fix some of the processes as the business was starting to grow. And then all of a sudden I found myself running events and being the event director, and actually partnering with Pete at the Soul Camp to help him grow the business, but actually to become part of that business too. And it is really good fun.
Is that soul as in SOUL or SOLE?
Yeah, it's the Soul Camp as in your soul. And it's a concept basically that's been honed over decades of experience. And what it does is it allows people to have their very own corporate festivals. So it's your own space, it's only your own people. We set everything up to give you that festive vibe. We had one last year that with a lovely company called MPG. 350 people. They brought all of their people from all over the world that have, in most cases, not met in person. So our challenge is then to make sure that we're allowing for the right setup for social connection to happen naturally. No forced fun, none of that, but just to allow people to connect, have some fun, R&R, whether they're going to be, some have glamping with it, some people just like an away day style festival vibe, but it allows you to be, you know, be yourselves, share your company culture, your best practices without worrying about anyone outside of the organisation kind of being there to make you not potentially be able to be yourselves and talk about internal stuff that you might not want to be talking about in different sort of settings. So it's really, really cool. And we're working on already, we booked 2 companies last week have booked with us for theirs, ranging from like, one of them's about 80 people, one of them's up to 200 people at the moment. And again, they're bringing people over that from different parts of the world. They're bringing lots of hybrid workers into this really cool, relaxed, social event, which, yeah, they're great. It's a great concept. And even, you know, conferences, we've all been to the standard night out with work. You go to a conference, we sit in a room, we clap a bit, someone goes up and bows a little bit for doing something that we don't even know what their role is, and then we're all just looking at our watch going, when are we going to the pub, or when are the drinks starting? Normally then the night progresses and it's all great fun, and then you're wondering if you've still got your job the next day and all of that. That's kind of the way it works. Well, it did in my world. But this is just such a different way of doing that. So you can still have the conference element and the business element. But yeah, it's so memorable. So yeah, it's really unique, and I'm really passionate about it, as you've probably noticed. And
I can tell.
Yeah.
I can tell. So everything you said about the Soul Camp sounds amazing to me. And if I were a decision maker, I'd be like, let's sign them checks. However, there's one thing I can't quite get on board with, and I'm hoping you convince me.
Yeah.
I genuinely detest camping.
Oh, shall I let you into a little secret?
Can't stand it.
I'll let you into a little secret. Me too. So it's fine. It's totally fine. I mean, obviously the glamping that we put, you know, it is luxury. It's beautiful. However, one of my first questions to Pete, which we often laugh about, was when I said, yeah, but like, where would I plug my straighteners in and stuff? And that was a genuine question that actually some of the clients I'm now talking to on behalf of the Soul Camp ask me. But what we do is we blend it. So a lot of our landowner partners across the UK are on private estates with their own hotels. So it's inclusive. Everyone gets to enjoy the fun. You can be the last person around that huge fire pit, but you go back to your room. Yeah, sold. There you go.
I have so much. Camping and glamping doesn't make sense to me. I know there's people who like it, but in my head, if I have to pay to live less comfortably than in my house, then that doesn't make any sense. Like, I work very hard not to be homeless, and camping is very close to being homeless.
Yeah, do you know what rustic camping is? Glamping, the bell tents, they're like 5 meters by 6 with like duvets and fairy lights and things. I'm not selling this to you now, am I? But they are.
Mate, I own a 3-bedroom house with bricks and walls.
Yeah,
indoor plumbing.
Yeah, no, I know. But we, you know, a lot of the challenges we face, Jen, we do get that. And obviously that's why it's so important that everything we offer gives that option, so that no one feels forced to do something they don't want to do. For medical reasons, some people can't as well. So we do always have that option of hotel accommodation, mixture of that with a bit of glamping, but the outdoor festival arena with these beautiful like teepee structures, the chill bar, the funky lounge, and the fire pit that gets everybody connecting. They're super cool. Hey, there you go,
Raquel's
Raquel.
on your side.
Yeah, there you go.
I love camping and glamping. Raquel Floor. Of course you love camping and glamping. You're badass. Like, you love doing cool things. I knew you do that. In fact, you may not even like it. You're just saying it to be contrary, because that's how you is. I see you, Flores. I see you. Thank you for commenting, by the way, Raquel. I appreciate it. Sorry, I shouldn't tease you so much.
Yeah.
Okay. Trying to think of any other silly questions. Oh, there you go. I don't know if you answered this on the post yet, but I did it today to promote this. If you could only eat one meat, I'm assuming you're an omnivore. If you're going to eat one meat for the rest of your life, forsaking all other meats, what would you pick?
Chicken.
You pick chicken.
There you go.
Why chicken?
Because I don't actually eat a lot of meat. A lot of my friends are actually vegan and vegetarian, and I massively support that. The only thing that I
the way you said that, and I massively support that. Like,
support that.
You didn't convince me.
I've got like plant-based.
Right?
I've got plant-based cleaning products. I have plant-based milk. I'm doing it. I'm doing it in steps. But I love chicken and I love Nando's, and that's just never going to change, I don't think, unfortunately for me. But yeah, chicken, because it can be part of that traditional, lovely, homely roast. You can funk it up by making it, a cheeky Nando's. They're great after a drink, a chicken kebab. I mean, look how diverse this meat is. Chicken kebab after a skinful. Yeah,
chicken for me. Yeah. See, you guys are vibing already. You're vibing already, and I'm inclined to agree with you. Okay. Oh, here's one that I've never asked anyone before. Mm-hmm. Why do people call it a cheeky Nando's? What's so cheeky about Nando's? It's just chicken.
Yeah, I know. There's nothing cheeky about it. I know, but it is a cheeky Nando's, isn't it? It doesn't feel right not saying a cheeky Nando's. But isn't that like? And I have to bring up sorry to all the people that hate smoking and stuff, but it's like crafty fags. Like, what's a crafty fag? Is that the same as a cheeky Nando's?
Oh, I assumed a crafty fag is like when you've used up all your lunch break and you still go out for a crafty one. Like,
that's an interpretation, I guess. Maybe a cheeky Nando's is that a cheeky Nando's could be that, because actually, if you just bought a chicken, cooked it at home and got some sauce, it cost you £5. If you go to Nando's, it costs you 45 quid for chicken and chips. That's quite cheeky.
You know what? I think you solved it. I think you solved it. So I'm messing with the screen just to just to make it visually interesting. And I'm not gonna lie, I like messing with people and trying to put you off when you're speaking. Is that naughty? Is that
fine. Don't worry. I'm going dizzy, but it's totally fine.
Sorry. Okay, so because you do a lot of work with different clients in Kent, do you have a favourite area of Kent, or region?
Well, obviously the Medway massive, as I said, I'm doing a lot of work with like academy trusts and stuff as well, and both of those have ended up being in Kent. The Skills for Life Trust, and I'm working with the Ireland Learning Trust as well. Again, just clearing the mist with fog on contracts and print infrastructure and stuff like that. So I'm down there for those quite a lot, and my mum still lives there. I guess Rochester. I've got a big love for Rochester still, I think, because it's got a bit of everything, hasn't it? I will be there this afternoon with my mum with a glass of wine in hand in the high street. So feel free, anyone, to come say hi.
Okay. As a man of Kent, someone from the south of the river, what's the difference between Rochester and Strood? Because I made that mistake one time and someone got well airy.
Well, Larry, well, they would have been from Strood. Well, ironically, my parents used to run working men's clubs, and I lived in a working men's club for 14 years in Strood, the Strood and Frinsbury Working Men's Club. Big shout out. And the difference between Strood and Rochester is there isn't a huge amount, and actually Strood is classed as being in Rochester, which is even more confusing. Yeah. The difference is a bridge, and let's be honest, maybe the people a little bit in different parts.
And who's better, Rochester?
Well, clearly Strood, because that's where I lived for most of my life. Yeah.
Raquel's back on it again. I adore Donna already.
Cheers, Raquel.
What's going on? It's the beauty of these live streams. Honestly, if you guys chat, I think you get on very, very well.
Oh, yeah, cool beans. Like it.
Cool. I've asked you lots of questions.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for me?
I'd like to understand a little bit more about because I know that you're always very active on LinkedIn. I'm not on any other socials, so I can only comment on the LinkedIn stuff. And like, what are your views on networking? Like, really, as in going out, and I think when I say networking, I mean like some of these people, I'm like, how do you ever do anything other than network? Because they're networking a lot. It's obviously working for them, and I have nothing against it. I love networking. But I do find sometimes it's really difficult to get the traction that you need from some of those kind of events, because let's be fair, you're all they can be quite boozy sometimes, or they can be a bit too early in the morning for me. What do you think? Because this is a great way of networking, right? And it is networking in essence.
What do I feel about networking? Okay, so I genuinely enjoy it. I tend to prefer doing it face to face.
Yes, me too.
I don't agree that it is the best lead source. So I come from a direct sales background. And I don't mean like sell, but I'm used to kind of controlling my pipeline and having some say over it. And referrals are good, but I think they should only be maybe 5 to 10% of your pipeline. I think you should actually, focus and target on the people you want to work with, actually go to them directly. Because referrals are great, but they rely on other people to come to you. And I think you have to be selective on the networking you're doing and be honest with yourself. If you're going to a networking event and you're paying to go there and you've been going for 6 months and there's no reciprocation of referrals and stuff, then maybe it's not the right network for you. And again, there's different types of networks. There's some where you have to pay $2,000 a month to be a part of, but you're doing business that's millions and millions of pounds, and then there's ones that are 30 quid a month and you're not doing millions and millions of pounds. There'll be different types of businesses, and it depends on what services you're offering. Here's one that's very controversial. I'm going to say it, right, because I am one. I dislike it when utility warehouse reps go to business networking, because generally speaking they can't refer stuff to me, like as Dale, as Kristen Reeves. There's nothing we can really do. Like, they sell to B2C, not B2B.
Yes.
So I can refer to you, but you can't refer to me. So that's my beef, but not dissing them, because again, I am a UW rep. So
yeah. And that is the thing as well, isn't it? Is that you do find. I mean, there was a time I remember I went to some of these breakfasts. I was forced to go to those because it's not. I have to be really honest. And again, anyone that knows me knows how I used to dread those meetings. But there's some of them are great people. And I'm still I'm in contact and connected with some of those people I met then. But I guess it's also about your personality, isn't it? Because for me, going networking in the summer in London, somewhere, which it is good, and you can build cool relationships, but I think it's like you say, you're not going to always walk away with, and you're going to get the people that go, yeah, funnily enough, we're looking at that, wine number 4, but sometimes you've got to follow it up in the right way as well to make that a thing. But it's just nice, I think, sometimes to connect, isn't it, with people? That's all.
Yeah, I guess just having that balance, like, so again, going back into the comments, Raquel, it's a phrase I learned from her, Raquel Flores, don't pitch slap. It usually helps with building the network. So she's right, like, don't just, if you're going to go to a networking event, don't be like, in the first 10 seconds, shake someone's hand and be like, oh, I'm this. And I mean, this. We've all had this, that aggressive person that's like, this is my business, this is what I do. Like, if you came on to this live stream and in the first 10 seconds went, I'm Donna and I do RDS, blah, 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 and we can do all that, like, people would switch off, but you didn't. You came on, we started talking about some other stuff, and I think that's what works better.
Yeah, definitely.
And again, I like the phrase pitch slap, by the way.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
It's almost dirty.
Definitely using that.
I know, right? Another person from Texas, Sia. Hey, Sia. Good morning. Texas, USA representing. What? Again, another person you should probably connect with. She's cool, like Raquel. I think that they might be like a crime-fighting duo. I'm not sure which one is Batman and which one is Robin, but the two of them combined make some awesomeness.
Okay, that sounds cool. I like that.
Or maybe Catwoman and Supergirl. I realised I said two male superheroes.
It's fine.
Yeah. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah,
they're both dynamic duo.
Yeah, I get it.
Again, Sia's just happy to be here. I made it at Raquel. Beat you to it, Sia. I didn't realize you guys are racing to comment on this. And again, Sia, like you, girl, just be impressed. I'm anywhere before 8 a.m.
That sounds.
I like to tease these two, but thank you for getting up early just to listen to me speak to Donna. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Oh dear. International superstar now. International superstar.
There's only like 5 people watching this, and 2 of them are those 2, so it's fine. There's more than 2. So you asked me the question: do I like networking? Yes, I think it's fun. Is it a means to end? Yes. Is there anything else I need to answer?
No, that's it for now. Thanks. Cheers.
Yep. Like you, I don't really use social media outside of LinkedIn. For me, it's a means to an end. I enjoy using it. I came off of, and again, I came off other socials in
in that time I don't like to talk about. And I think that was just for my own sanity and mental health, because some of the stuff that goes on those platforms is just not healthy, full stop. I know LinkedIn, unfortunately, sometimes can also be guilty of some of this strange stuff that goes on. But yeah, just some of that, it's just, and it felt amazing. Like the first couple of days when I removed myself from Facebook completely, and you know, I've never really been an Insta anyway. I think I have a presence on there, but I don't do anything with it. And yeah, I just liberate. Felt amazing. And I'm waking up and thinking, what do I scroll through now? What do I do with myself now that I've woken up? But then, hey, scroll through LinkedIn, and actually, you're actually getting a lot more insight.
Knowledge.
Yeah, not just looking at someone's cat eating cornflakes or whatever it is people put on Facebook in the mornings.
That's why I'm not on the socials. I'll tell you why. I have them, but I don't really on them. The reason being, it's pure hubris. Sometimes I don't care what other people have to say about their day. I genuinely don't. Some people I do. Like, I'll check in on my mum, see how she's doing. But if I really want to check in, I'll give her a call. I'll go see her. I don't care about her quasi-racist posts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a certain generation in the UK who like go onto certain sites and post stuff without realizing what it says.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
Occasionally, my mum is one of those people. Which is ironic because she's an immigrant. Like, this is very funny. She knows what she's posting.
Oh dear. But yeah, so that's good. We're on the same page. I'm not a Facebooker, and I think I sound like a nan now, but I've got to say it. I worry about the younger generation with it all. I just feel like it's not a positive thing, and you know, I see some of my friends' nieces and these young girls, like every 3 seconds, they're like doing an Insta selfie or whatever it is they're doing, and they're all, there's one look, isn't there?
Yeah. Do. The duck face. What's the duck face about? I can't stand the.
Well, no, everyone does that, and you have to hold. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've had a few selfies in my time, but it's just that, the younger generation, I think, are so they centre everything around it, and it's quite sad to see. To be fair. But yeah.
Challenge for you. Okay, I would like you to read the next comment, please, from Sia.
Okay. Yeah, I can't. Only one Flabonga, Monthrothacube. No.
In your defence, she typoed it, so we'll let it slide.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, like, I've seen that, and it's not what I've seen before. Yeah.
You know what? Sia, thank you anyway. There's only one Flabonga Monthrothacube. The amount of concentration I have to do, that's why I tilt my head back. I'm probably thinking Monthrothacube.
Monthrothacube. Oh. Okay. Have you got anything else you want to ask me randomly?
Yeah. Are you watching anything decent on Netflix or Prime? Or
no, I just watched that the ITV drama about Raoul Moat, whatever his name was. Wow. Yeah, I watched that. It's like 3 episodes. That was cool. I find, and again, I'm a bit, you know, I'm not like a box setter and stuff like that. And I like Luther. I just watched the Luther film. That was pretty amazing. I like him. It's got nothing.
I've seen the TV show, but I haven't seen.
Yeah, the film's on Netflix now. Fallen Sun, I think it's called. It does help that Idris Elba is slightly easy on the eye. Let's be fair. But
he's all right. He's
all right. But yeah, no, that's really good. So I highly recommend that. But yeah, I haven't been watching lots of stuff really lately. I think it's been a bit rubbish, to be fair, lately. Just putting that out there.
For our American friends, that's trash, by the way.
I like true crime stuff as well. Like I love true crime and stuff like that. I watch a lot of that. Yeah, not that I'm trying to plan anything strange or take tips from any of these. I promise.
That's cool.
I just really like.
I mean, that's what you would say if you were going to commit a murder. Though. That's. No, that's what. First of all, again, Sia's back in the comments. She says, "I know how to spell it," and then she's typoed that. Damn it, phone! No, she's using her phone. Yeah. You know what? It's 8 a.m. in the morning. We'll let it slide. Thank you for watching, Sia. Okay. This is the last one. And I'm going to aim it towards our Texan friends. Well, they're not Texans, they're actually from California. What advice would you give to them regarding your business or the services you offer, or kind of any nuggets of wisdom when it comes to business, career, job,
business, career,
bombshell.
job? Do you know what? I think always be personable, always be you. And I think in whatever sector or arena you're working in, if you're genuine with the people you connect with, if you're passionate about whatever it is that you're doing, whatever that might be, then that rubs off on people. And yeah, and be like, you know, be real, I guess. That's how I think I have always been, I'd like to think. And I think if any of my clients were to ask why they work with me and have continued to work with me, I reckon that's probably in a nutshell how they would describe me. It's kind of...
Love it.
Yeah, be real.
Be real.
Be real.
Be real. Last comment, Sia. Love... So I'm going to try and say your last name, Sia, by the way. Sia Yasotonarat. Yaso...
Yes, it's Tonarat. Yeah. Yes, it's Tonarat.
Sorry, Sia. That's a Tonarat. Love so many of your shows, so much better than the USA. That's true. We have way better TV. And look, they're even going through it. The IT crowd.
Yeah.
I used to be Moss back in the day. Yeah.
Used to be.
Used to be. Yeah. My voice broke, isn't it? Authenticity for the Win. Sherlock. Ghosts.
Sherlock's amazing.
Benny Hill.
Wow. That's a controversial one, if ever there was.
I would say Only Fools and Horses. There we go.
Yeah, that's my favourite.
Absolute classic.
That's my favourite thing in the world. Only Fools and Horses.
It's still funny because I've shown it to people younger than me and they still find it funny.
Yeah, it is.
That's when something's good. Like, it can withstand the test of time.
Absolutely timeless. It's brilliant. I love it.
And on that note, after your wisdom of...
Be real.
What was it again? Be
real.
Be real.
Be real.
Be real. Be real. Be real. I'm going to hit end broadcast. It takes about 5 seconds to turn off, so please smile. Okay. Otherwise, you might end up with like a funny face. Yeah?
Okay.
So good luck. Ready?
I'm ready.
Broadcast. Thank you, Sia. Thank you, Raquel.
Yes.